brum. The condom. I'm gonna call this a condom. The body otter. Hi, hello, sexy readers. It's Nathan. I read books because reading is sexy, and if you're not reading, you're not sexy. Here are some book updates. We finished, surprisingly, really fast, Esmerelda Santiago's Madres. This was fine. This was fine. Puerto Rican history of a family who lies and hurts each other. Lots of dramatics, melodrama, and betrayal. Not in the way that I thought would be like super spicy, but in a sort of like Lifetime movie kind of way. Everything's very light, very multilingual as well. We have dialogue that happens in French, Spanish, German, English. It's beautiful to just exist within this family unit that just like works in so many different tongues. As like a POC who grew up speaking 2 languages, I understand very much. It's all of this like speaking and translating and code switching between these like borders of languages, and it's gorgeously done in here. The family eventually encounters a hurricane that sort of shifts the dynamics of their lives. It was fine. Really not much to say about it because I thought it was pretty mid. I think this is a very important piece of Puerto Rican literature, but overall, I just didn't feel invested enough in all of the interactions between the familial characters, given that it was all very naggy, and I can relate to it, but it got way too naggy in ways that portions of the book felt heavy-handed in a weird kind of way, in that I think Esmeralda was trying to create quotable lines, and there's just too much of it. I feel like if you have way too many quotable lines that stand alone, it detracts from, I think, the overall involvement of the text itself. It just came off as somewhat preachy, and I just didn't mesh well with it. Who is this for? This is for anyone who has a big family, is rich within many familial relationships. If you miss your grandma, and if you struggle loving your family. This is what it's very much about, is how do we love people in our family with also these sort of bouts of spite? How do we care for each other? How do we care within a family? How do we care about family? And then ultimately, how do we care about ourselves existing within a family? Puerto Ricans out there, this is pretty, I think you really like this. I felt that I didn't really emotionally connect to it in the way that I should have until Esmeralda's acknowledgements page / coda, she calls it. And you really understand where she was coming from in creating this story. But aside from that, I think without the acknowledgements page, I would have just been like, okay, on to my next read, but hard 3 stars. After that, I knew I was gonna finish that before like lunchtime, so I decided to pick up a tiny, and I did The Water Statues by Fleur, which I just finished moments ago. Let me tell you, this is an indecipherable, cold, tiny little weirdo. I can't even tell you what it's about, but let me tell you, the worlds of Fleur, they're just so ephemeral, and you can't touch it. What this feels like is being in a ghost's dream. Nothing feels tangible. I'm not exactly sure what the hell happened in this book, but it's about a teenage boy, I believe, who sort of guards these statues, and these statues sort of speak to him in odd ways. And there's real people too, I think. Or maybe I think the characters are the Marvel statues. I don't know. I really don't know. Until you hit the very last page in monologue. And it just like hits you in this like really odd way where one of the characters or the statues is reflecting on time, history, place, and where we're headed in sort of this passage of life and death. But let me read it to you. And so my relationship to the world and movement is somewhat altered, and that is how I erase time. Blowing once on the palm of my hand, I extinguish the awful flow of hours. Don't you find it flows too quickly, that it sweeps us away too soon? Only certain trees are centuries old. Shouldn't there be an extra century of existence? It's spellbinding existing in this tiny world of Fleur Jaeggy, and I don't recommend this as an introduction to Fleur Jaeggy's work. I definitely recommend Sweet Days of Discipline. I think that one's a lot more approachable. This was written in 1980, but it took a bit of time for it to be translated into English in 2021. And for good reason, because this, like, I really couldn't tell you what this is really about. But I just appreciate existing within these like worlds, because Fleur Jaeggy has some of the best sentences. Absolutely exquisite. I don't know how she does it. The way she stitches sentences together with such gorgeous prose, phenomenal. Like on the very first page, the book opens, though the years vanish as swiftly as ever, sorrow and life coming to an end make time seem too long. I spend entire days observing nature, the gradual calming of nature. At such times, my ideas become vague, undecided, without tiring them. A wild sadness rests in my eyes, and my gaze wanders over the rocks all around. Every place here is a friend I am happy to see again. But the whole book is just wrought with this like absolute loneliness, where comfort is found within snails, moss, sort of the wet, dark nature setting of this garden of statues. And it's very cold, it's intangible, and it's very odd. A very weird one. If any of you've read it, please let me know. Would like to talk about it, because again, I don't know what it's about, and someone please come tell me what it's about. Fleur Jaeggy, The Water Statues, phenomenal cover, done in absolute simplicity, and these teardrops almost make it feel tangible with this figure that's almost like faded into this blue cover, like a ghost, a statue, lost, forgotten in time or something. And I have here book mail. This is, I believe, my very first Blackwell's order. Free shipping. Crazy. I think it took the same amount of time as a book depository order, so I think we're in good hands. We're in good hands. Let's do a little unboxing. Are you fucking kidding me? No. Again, I got an ugly cover of The Last Thing He Wanted. What the fuck? Oh no. Okay, hold on, let me show you now. Now I have two horrendous copies of The Last Thing He Wanted. Who wants to buddy read? Anybody in Korea want to buddy read? Oh, this is absolutely horrendous. I'm looking for these, the Vintage International. Disappointing once again. I'm going to send a very angry email. But wow, that was whatever. Great. Okay, great. Thanks y'all for being here. That's as far as all the book updates go. I got some book updates. It's Friday morning. Can you hear the birds chirping? It's quite nice. But I think it's gonna rain today, maybe. Weather has been kind of funky. I think we're heading towards monsoon season soon, and I'm not ready. But I've got my cold brew. And we got some good book talk. The Body Artist by Dellilo. This was a rec that I picked up from Benjamin Journal. I saw that this was a tiny, and it was a Dellilo, and I was like, you know what? And this was during the time when White Noise was adapted to film by Noah Baumbach, and I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. And I hadn't been in Don DeLillo's voice in a long while. I was first introduced to his work with Cosmopolis, that movie with Robert Pattinson, during that time, and I read it then, and I was like, whoa, what is this? This is so wild. But obviously, my teeny bopper self probably didn't comprehend the majority of that novel. So I've returned to his voice with the body artist. Couples quarreling at the backdrop of consumerist America. What does one do? And then the novel takes a turn, and I don't want to spoil it because I feel like this is best appreciated when you enter it blind. So go into this know nothing from a Moshfeghian standpoint. What does the body mean? Not in its disgust, but in its art, its general art, in breathing, in how it produces language, how voice shows and presents words. And then through Delilo's, usual lyrical prose, what is language in its barest form with his bare back? Post-grief, what does language mean? What do we do with words? How are they exchanged? And then the novel sort of enters this very strange space and interaction that I'm not quite sure jived with, but interesting nonetheless. Like, I could imagine this better suited as a stage play, because I think the richness of the dialogue requires actors and requires character beyond the text itself, given that Delilo's prose is very, though beautiful, gets a little more oomph if it's enacted properly through an actor. I would like to see this as a stage play. It'd be very interesting to see. I don't recommend this as an introduction to Delilo's work. I think this works best as a little buffer in between the big ones if you are going through a Dellilo crunch. White Noise, I still think, is fabulous, and Cosmopolis is a fun one. I think that one's short too. And I want to read the JFK assassination book eventually, because like Dellilo doing historical fiction, like, yes please, give it to me good. Then I thought, okay, I have quite a busy weekend, so I wanted to squeeze in like something like nothing too serious. So I picked up a collection of short stories, Don Lee's Yellow, and what is this, my third DNF of the year? God. I picked this up, to backtrack, because Elaine Sue Chu, author of Disorientation, talked about this book when she was sort of doing research and reading more Asian American voices that were under the radar. And I was stunned by this cover because it's great. Title itself, presentation of the title with this color block and this blurry black and white image, it's so good. So good. But not so good. The first story, oh gosh, it's a horrendous short story. And let me tell you, I did a little bit of digging. The first story, which is The Price of Eggs in China, was in a pushcart. If anyone doesn't know, pushcart is, they do an annual publication of some of the best short stories and poems of the year for North America. And it's a good outlook of what the American voice is saying within that given year. But good golly, that was an awful short story. It just felt like a draft. Like, it didn't feel ready. Just some of the overuse of adjectives. Like, okay, from like a stylistic standpoint, a sentence should work without any adjectives, okay? So, okay, for example, the fox ran quickly over the hill, okay? You can condense that to the fox leaped over the hill. Something like that. There was just like an overuse of adjectives. Don Lee wasn't working in the mind of economy, given that this short story was like 20 pages also. Oh God, my light went out. But it's just like, what is he doing? What is this man doing? What I will say though is this first short story was also a major letdown in just, I don't know, just made a really bad first impression. And let me tell you, the first story in any short story collection must matter because it sets the tone for the rest of the collection. Most people aren't like you know, flipping randomly to a short story, you know, they usually go to this, you know, first page. This was just a really bad first impression, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. Though, I will say I think Elaine was also doing a bit of research on Asian antagonism. There's a bit of that in this first short story, and I can see where she was sort of coming from in developing her relationship between her characters in disorientation, which was interesting to see. But beside that, oh God, like, this just felt like a really unedited first draft. And this is my, third, fourth DNF of the year, which is such a shame because the cover is wonderful. But gosh, Don Lee is also a professor of creative writing at a university. And I'm just like, I feel so bad for any of the students in his class because I would not take any form of class from this. After that, I was like, you know what? I'm being too cruel. Let me give them another chance. I tried 2 or 3 other short stories and they kind of ran in the same vein of what I dislike stylistically. What I'm trying to say is I didn't jive. I didn't jive with his voice and his particular style of writing in that I just felt it was too cluttered, clunky, and just very odd tempos and beats in terms of flow and in terms of construction of a solid story. There was nothing to go with. Those are the reading updates. Got big reading plans for a busy weekend. If you must know, I'm working on the Tom Lake vlog. I'm bringing Ann Patchett to Tokyo. I will be doing a buddy read of Samantha Hunt's The Seas with Katie from Katie James. Very, very excited as we are entering what seems to be breath of humidity incoming for Korea and monsoon season. The Seas just seems appropriate. And I don't want to go on for too long because this quality is awful and I don't know why, but I did charge this like not too long ago. So my tripod has comes with a light. And anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying cool, hydrated, caffeinated. I can't believe I made it through the week. It feels odd. I don't know, this week has been odd. I've been doing a lot of reading because I've been avoiding real life. So maybe that's why it feels odd. Like, I'm in a book and then I realize, oh, time to go to work. And then when I'm at work, I'm just like, this is all a simulation. Like, what is this? Yeah, that's where we're at right now. And I just want to be within the realm of books. On that note, I mean, that's why this channel exists, right? That's why we're here together as a community, booktube community, right? We're avoiding real life and just existing within worlds wrapped up, bounded in pages and pretty covers.
They'll make us into a happy couple. It's sex, a cooking show, a sleepover every Thursday, and it's great. The end.
Okay. How big is his dick? I'm not allowed to be me, so I'm going to be Samantha. Okay, wait. Now I'm going to be Miranda. If you sleep with someone at work, you are giving away your power.
Hi, hello. The window is open. Look, we need no backlight today. It is a gorgeous, hot summer day. We had 2 days of rain, and it has just made the air fresh as fuck. Fresh as fuck. We got book mail. I think I know what this is, and if it's... I swear to God, if this isn't the right edition, I'm gonna fucking scream, because it is such a bitch to try and get the right... I don't understand why y'all who resell books just like put up any random pic. Like, when I'm looking to buy a book online, I want that cover. Don't just put any random fucking cover on your fucking site. Oh my god. Blackwells. I hope they get it right. Okay. Please. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Woo. Okay, finally. We have the sexy version of Miami by Joan Didion. I was so afraid it was gonna be the ugly edition, but here it is. Miami, Joan Didion. We were trying to grab all of the sexy covers of these, I think the vintage, yeah, Vintage International. It's a little damaged, which is fine. Can't really tell, so it's great. Okay. Oh, also wanted to say, this is Adolescence Leaves. I wrote this. It is a little novella in prose flash fiction form. It's on Goodreads. There's some nice things about the book. Please order it. Link is in the description box. It is a beautiful object. Put it on your coffee table. I'm great. I look great on your bookshelf. So yeah, add me to your book collection. Adolescence Leaves by me. Yeah, it's a cute read. Please buy it, please. Anyway. Welcome to a new situated spot. We're here on my floor. I thought, why not change the space? So here we are. We've leveled down, I think. The C's, Samantha Hunt. Y'all were right. Okay, I get it. I get the hype. I get it. Did this as a buddy read with Katie James. From Katie James. Yes, we had such a delightful talk as always. Katie just like comes in with such immense patience and love for the text that she just dives into, and it's such a great space to be with her and with literature and just being able to talk and rummage through all of our thoughts and such on the C's. Samantha Hunt. Wanted to first mention that this just like in sync. Katie and I were incredibly in sync with the weather, given that Korea's sort of like dipping into its like monsoon season, had like lots of rain. So did she, and just like the heat and this need for water at the same time. It was just very much in sync. Very much a perfect way to start summer, and it worked for her, especially given that she's been reading a lot of books with young female narrators, and she brought up this idea of obliteration. Our narrator here is obliterating herself for this other older gentleman, which none of y'all mentioned, I don't think, because he's a Vietnam War vet and she's head over heels for him, and she's like 16 years old, and you're wondering like, why is she doing this? Either through it's sort of the ghostly presence of her mother, or the unsureness of whether her father is dead or alive, if he's somewhere nearby. And atmospherically, it's just really brilliant in that you have this seaside town where everybody knows everybody, and everything is quiet at the same time, but it's like so loud in her head, and you just sort of spiral with her. And it doesn't help that I'm coming into this like sort of post Elena Ferrante's Days of Abandonment. I'm just like spiraling even further than I need to be going towards, and yeah, that's why it's so much in sync with Katie and I's sort of literary wave we're writing here, and how every book is sort of speaking to each other and to us. Delicious prose written with such honesty that I felt like my younger self again, and I think that's like really difficult to conjure up. I feel like older writers who write child narrators, it just doesn't usually work for me. Like there's just something about it that just doesn't feel honest or earnest enough, and just falls flat for me. I think it's because when I read Bonjour Tristesse by François Sagan. When she wrote that at like 16, and just like hearing that 16-year-old voice, it just can't be beat. That novel can't be beat, and the voice that it has, François herself, and I guess pretty much ruined every other child narrator voice. But I'm sorry, not child, but like teen voice. Which I think is like so odd, given that like you have like young adult writers writing for teenagers, and sometimes I wonder if like it works. Like I wish I could like go back to my 16-year-old self and wonder like, oh, an adult is writing this? Is this working for me? Delicious, delicious prose written with such earnesty. Themes circle back in, back out, and everything moves like the ocean, the waves, and how it carries our narrator, and thematically, water as something that is both cleansing yet destructive is so beautifully explored through this book. It was such a joy. I did feel that 3/4 of the way through the book, I felt it was like leaning on a bit twee. Like I wasn't sure how Hunt was going to like wrap everything up. And there's just like moments in here where I'm just like, that is so fucking insane that it like if it was ever adapted to screen, it would never work. But like it makes sense here in text form beautifully. But I could totally imagine, like, does anybody remember like Sofia Coppola was supposed to do The Little Mermaid? I feel like if she tried to do The Little Mermaid, it would end up being something like this, minus all the crazy bits, but like emotionally, Sofia Coppola's got this. Not sure how she would do sort of the magical realism, fantastical aspects of the book, but so I felt like it was a bit twee for me and did feel a bit clunky, but I think I just sort of respected Hunt's prose and sort of the emotion that she charged through until the very end. I think sort of balances out the work for me, so it was fine. And yeah, that ending, wow, it's a lot. The letter, anyone's read, anyway, perfect to start your summer. Dip into this, take a splash into Samantha Hunt's The Seas. If you are looking to obliterate yourself, to return to your teenage self, into the realm of first love, and yeah, just want something to sort of cool off your summer, a little fun, a little fantastical, this is it, The Seas, Samantha Hunt. And also, I did want to mention, this has an introduction by Maggie Nelson, which is beautifully sets up the book for you, and fantastic forward. Let me know if you, well, everyone's read this on the booktube, so if you haven't read it and you do, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of Jude, and let me know what you think of freedom by the end. Is our narrator free? Does our narrator have a greater sense of freedom? Can she hold on to it for herself? We got our cold brew. Fuckerland by Ed Lin. I was one of those people that picked up this book simply from the title alone. Let me tell you, I've been super blessed with these summer picks. I didn't know this was sort of about summer, and we follow our narrator Sean, who's major slacker, goes to jail for possession of weed, and then works at a hot dog stand, as sort of like a summer job to get himself back on his feet, and tries to pursue this position at like a desk office job in the adult world. And you realize that he's not really after that. He's just trying to figure out how to enter the adult world. Indy Sleaze is back. I miss the slacker character. You know, our Bukowski boys. Where'd they all go? But here he is, Sean, in Motherfuckerland. Ed Lin sets the book in New Jersey. Jersey literature, where you at? We got small town vibes and very little plot, atmospheric in this suburban kind of way. Ed Lin proves that you don't need much to create literature. We play with very graphic novel-esque characters in their humor, dialogue, and how they all interlink with Sean's world and how he interlinks with them, given that they're all adults and Sean is this teenager, and sort of realizes how silly they all are, how kiddish and amateurish that adults still are. Like, adulthood isn't a real thing. High school never ends. And you really see that through this book. This was originally serialized on a website, Robot Lounge, and it's sort of compiled into this very, very sexy edition. Oh, let me get to with this little, what the heck do you call this? The condom. I'm gonna call this a condom. Little white condom for this red-blue book. It's very cute. I had to pick it up. Math Paper Press from Singapore bound this together. Beautifully done. If you're looking for a summer job read, like if you're working at the hot dog stand, if you got a lemonade stand, you know, working tables, this is like the perfect book. We get weird customer service, marijuana breaks, falling in love with the wife of a hotel owner, and just lots of fun goofball stuff. A parole officer who wants to drink with you constantly. It's just lots of fun. Feels very much like an A24 film that's like 90 minutes long, and just like overall vibes. I really need to stop saying vibes, but it's good. If you want that dog days summer book, this is a great addition. It's just light, fun, while also painting really complex characters and questions of how to maneuver yourself from teen to adult. If these spaces actually exist, lots of fun. Motherfuckerland, Ed Lin.
Do you want me to keep...
Hi, hello. I feel like I should have prefaced what exactly happened last night, as I did not have my usual mirror fit breakdown. Let it be known that I woke up at noon today. Sacrilege in the realm of Nathan. But I was debating on whether or not to go out, because I probably shouldn't anymore, given that 1, I need to save money, 2, I just don't need to wow out like that. And 3, you know, it's nice to be home sometime, to like be at home and read a book and such, and clean up around the house. Thankfully, I spent this Sunday doing. Except I didn't clean my mirror, so remind me to do that. Yeah, we went out for Pride at this place in Hongdae. It was an event run by Shade Seoul, partnered with Mixmag, and it was aight. It was aight. Really was just there to hang out with the friends, and yeah, we had a really cute time. Really enjoyed it, and then went out to Chongro, or like Insadong, to meet up another friend, and yep, did the whole dance till 6 a.m. Yeah, met some cool people, danced a lot. A little too hard techno for me, but there were a few DJs that smoothed things out, and that was great. And then, yep, took the first train back home. Took a nap on that train. Didn't do much reading, and yeah, came home with 3% on my phone because I forgot to bring my fucking charger. Because I was set on just staying home, and then my friend sent this like really ugly text. We love each other, but you know, all out of love. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just go. Any regrets? Absolutely not. It was a good night. Tremendous night. One for the books. I'm here now. But yeah, just wanted to throw this update out there. Just like not have any background info on all of these random ass clips and flashing lights and brum, 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 brum. Okay, take care of yourselves. Love ya. I don't know how this will be compilated, is that a word, with the rest of however these vlogs are made, but love ya.